Welcome to Taking Stock. I'm Amanda Lang. Coming up on the show, the rising cost of auto theft, including the hidden costs. Plus, many will be happy to see interest rates come down, but may be disappointed at how slowly they fall from here. And our chilly relationship with China could put Canadian business on the back foot. That's all ahead. First, for the week that was in business, it's time for the briefs. This week's decision on rates by the Bank of Canada was one of the most hotly anticipated in months. As expected, the bank cut rates by 0.25%, leaving its benchmark loan rate at 4.75%. But more importantly, it signaled a pivot in its fight against inflation that took rates up at the fastest pace in history. While many economists expect at least one more rate cut between now and year end, even at that level, it's considered a restrictive lending rate. We got another look at employment in Canada this week, and the number of jobs added to the economy in May once again failed to keep pace with the rate of population growth. The big question is whether it changes the bank's view of the path of interest rates, which are on track to drop further between now and the end of the year. A Canadian AI startup, Cohere, is being valued at $5 billion US, with new investment from chipmaker NVIDIA and software company Salesforce. Cohere is a generative AI firm which makes applications for other businesses. It generated revenue of $35 million last year. TD Bank faced new allegations this week that some of its former employees have been complicit in money laundering. It comes as the bank works with U.S. authorities on an investigation into its money laundering compliance program. That's part of a $650 million money laundering case in New York and New Jersey. Analysts have speculated TD could wind up paying up to $2 billion in fines related to the non-compliance. The federal New Democrats are calling for a price cap on some grocery staples if grocery retailers don't bring prices down. Food price caps have been implemented in some European countries as rising prices have made cost of living issues the hot political topic. The government said it's pressuring grocers to implement a code of conduct and hope to bring more foreign competition to our market. The CRTC says any streaming service with revenue above $25 million a year in Canada must pay a 5% levy. That could raise a couple $100 million in revenue from the likes of Netflix, Amazon, Disney, and Spotify. The idea being that cash will be used to fund more local programming. It's unclear how the big streaming services will respond to the new tax. And those are your business briefs. Car theft cost insurers $1.5 billion in 2023. The vast majority of those thefts happened in Ontario, where claim costs rose 524% between 2018 and 2023. So what can be done to solve a problem that everyone wants to see disappear? Tara Laidman is Vice President, PNC Business Operations at the Cooperators. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me, Amanda.
So this is a problem that, we see the cost because the insurance industry is counting it. From the point of view of trying to stop that escalation for the owners of the cars, for the insurance companies, what do you think about the progress that's being made? Are we doing an okay job of trying to crack down on this?
You know what, we're doing an okay job for sure, but there's still more to be done. You mentioned the stats. We know that vehicle theft has continued year after year, and we're in June now, and we're still not seeing signs of that decreasing. So happy to see the progress that we are making, but we certainly have to continue to make more progress if we're going to actually put a dent in this.
Of course, the insurance industry has borne the brunt of the reported claim costs here, Tara, but what about the other pieces of the puzzle? You have law enforcement, which will say it is understaffed and overwhelmed here. And of course, we have the car companies that some say haven't done enough to make their cars theft proof. So what do you think about the other participants in this whole issue?
So here's the thing, Amanda, is that the theft crisis in Canada is not going to be able to be solved by one entity, one organization. It really is it's a complex problem. It's going to need to involve everyone coming to the table. It needs all levels of government. It needs vehicle manufacturers. It needs law enforcement. It needs Canadians to be educated as to what's going on, and it involves insurers. Everyone has to come to the table, and everyone has a place there, and really needs to have an impact on this in order for us to actually see a difference happening.
We are starting to see some auto drivers unable to insure their vehicles. They're considered high risk, and they're literally not being able to renew their insurance when it comes up. What does that say about, is that a broken system somehow? And what's the path to making sure people can get the insurance they need?
Yeah. Unfortunately, insurance rates are rising. So when we talk about having $1.5 billion in claims, that directly impacts insurance rates. There is going to become a time where insurance is going to become unaffordable for some Canadians, and some may argue that that's already happened. So from an insurance standpoint, there's other things that need to happen as well. We need to make sure that we're proactive with Canadians to educate them about the risk they have and help guide them as to what they can do to help prevent that vehicle theft. If we're able to do that, then we can have lowering insurance. For those who can't find insurance or who have been canceled, I encourage you to shop around. There's anti-theft devices that many insurance companies, including cooperators, recognize that really significantly reduces the impact to your premium.
Do you think people are educated enough about which cars are high risk? In other words, if you're shopping for a car right now, should you do your homework and know that some are going to be more valuable to car theft and therefore you might want to avoid them?
Absolutely. You know what? When you're going to shop for a vehicle, it's really important to take into consideration the total car ownership that you're going to have, not just the purchase price of the vehicle, but the amount of gas you're going to have to put in, the parts you're going to have to repair, and the insurance that you're going to have to pay for it. So educate yourself and know going into that purchase what you can expect for the next 5 years with that vehicle.
Tara, so good to have you. Appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, Amanda.
Tara Laidman is Vice President, PNC Business Operations at Cooperators. Still ahead, many are waiting for interest rates to fall further in Canada, but might be disappointed at where they land.